Okay, welcome to the Shots Pod, where we discuss all things Aldershot Town. My name's Liam Flint, and I did think this week I would be alone. I thought I'd be flying solo because my dad's made a meal of this one, but he's joined us. He's outside of Costa, somewhere remote. We don't know where he is, what he's doing. But Dad, you're with us. Well done for getting online.
That's all right. These things have to be done, you know. These things have to be done to keep the young men in order.
Yeah, it's the priority. We appreciate the hustle and the commitment. And the reason we need him to join is because we have another guest today. So this is hopefully the first part of a couple of part of end of season episodes we're going to be doing. Delighted to say the first one we have is with Shots Forward Josh Barrett. Josh, we've just had a little pre-game chat. How you doing? And welcome to the pod.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm doing really well, thank you. Yeah, all good.
Good. And I was saying, Dad, he's still in his Aldershot gear, so he's not changed that in for his beach wear yet. He's still looking professional for a few more days.
Yeah, we like professionalism. As you can see from the way I'm turned out, we go professional.
Yeah, this is how we like to do it. But yeah, Josh, thanks for your time. We do appreciate it. Just before, obviously, you're going on holiday. I know you've got a bit of post-season admin stuff, meetings, just tie things off before you go for the summer. I'm sure the fans will be keen to know what your plans are, so we'll come to that later. But Josh, let's start with the here and now. What's just gone on? So we've just finished the season. Obviously, Shots finished eighth. Be great to get your thoughts on that. But we have to start. We have to start with Dagenham away and your worldie of a free kick, which you've obviously saved the best till last. How nice was that for you to sign off with a nice little postage stamp free kick that's done the rounds on social media?
Yeah, it was lovely to be fair. It's always nice because especially before going like on your break, and it kind of stays fresh in people's minds. It kind of keeps you maybe a bit more relevant. Like whereas I haven't played obviously as much as what I would have liked, so it was nice to leave on like a good note. Just to give a little glimpse of I'm sure people have seen, but when I signed, there was a few goals on the video that they made of me. There's a few. Hopefully, there's a few more of them that I can score for Aldershot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I thought,
that's the hope. It was a great goal, wasn't it, Dad?
yeah, I thought it was a great strike, Josh. And I thought what Tommy Witherington said, the gaffer said after the game, was that something you've got in your locker, which we unfortunately haven't seen much of. But so free kicks, that sort of thing, dead ball situations, you can really succeed, can't you?
Yeah, well, I feel very comfortable. I'd say confident in myself. Anything around the box, either dead ball or whatever it may be. I think yeah, I'd always back myself. I think the lads were pretty good with me. There was a few, Frosty and people like that asking me, can let me have it, and I felt confident that I was gonna. Because to be fair, I was having a bit of a stinker before. I couldn't for some reason keep the ball, so I needed to kind of make up for it in a way, and thankfully it ended up flying in the top corner. So yeah, I was delighted.
Yeah, it was a great strike, and it's pretty fair to say. Again, the gaffer afterwards said it pretty much summed up Shot's season. 3-3, goals galore, loads of missed chances. We were very open, weren't we? But we also made loads of chances. Do you feel that was a pretty fair summary of our season?
Yeah, I'd say from when I've obviously been here. Obviously, before coming, I was of course keeping an eye out on what was happening, as obviously I'm best friends with Theo and been really close with Jonesy and Scotty and stuff from playing before, and of course known a lot of the boys as well that are already here. So I was keeping a close eye, and to be honest, it was looking like every weekend was amazing, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's just the way. I think that's the way defensively, like you say. I think we've tried, and I think there's been sessions. Rich and Hugo and the gaffer have put on some really good sessions, defending, trying to get better at things. But I think that the way we play is so attacking, and you've got them, you've got Stokesy, whether it's Stokesy, Loren, uh Barham, whoever it may be, going Kwame. You've got so many different options of going forward, and I think we've got a lot of good players in our team, people that want to be involved in the action, whether it's Gloves or Frosty or Ollie Harfield doing his overlaps, or Hadji just running miles with the ball forward. You know what I mean? You've got so many different options, so we're always going to be in the position where you're going to be open and you're going to be You're probably going to concede more goals than what we would have liked. But I think from a fan's point of view, from someone like me who has sat and watched quite a bit from whether it's been on the bench or whatever, very exciting to watch, very good to watch. I can't say it's not enjoyable. Probably not for the gaffer and the staff, but for me it's been a good watch.
Carry on then. So, Josh, what was the general mood then in the camps? Obviously, Dagenham happened. We know we finished 8th, 2 points outside the playoffs. When 6 weeks ago we were thinking, right, we're right bang in this. This will be ours to lose. What's the general mood as the season comes to a close? What have the boys been saying? What are you taking away from it?
Yeah, well, I think obviously, like, as probably everybody knows, like Shots fans, that there was a bit of hope maybe that we might maybe sneak in there with obviously the stuff that now has come out about Gateshead. We kind of knew from what the gaffer had told us after the game that there was a possibility. So it was quite a weird feeling, I want to say. It's like kind of felt like you wasn't done. You was going to be like continue, like, you know what I mean? We would have been in on Monday and like trained Tuesday and then possibly played on Wednesday. So quite a weird feeling. I think, like I said, everybody's still with that bit of hope that maybe we're gonna, get ourselves in there. But I think now the last couple of days when it's been able, like it's died down, when we knew on Sunday that it wasn't going to be us going into the playoffs. I think me looking at everybody else, like the team, I think they've got to be so proud of what they've achieved. Really, I think if you look at everything that's out there, everyone was tipping Aldershot to be in the bottom four, or if not in the bottom, right down there. Do you know what I mean? In the
Yeah.
and what they've achieved has been the FA Cup run, whether it's that or just going to West Brom and seeing like I was just about to sign as that was happening, so I was watching closely, and like the amount of people that turn up from an Aldershot point of view was just amazing. I think some of the things they've achieved, like, it's just been unbelievable. And I've been at Aldershot, only whether it was only 3 weeks or whatever back. I can't remember how many years, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago now. To see what the club was like then to what it's like now is just completely the opposite, and it's so good to see. And realistically, it's them that have created that. The boys have, as fans, I think you build the atmosphere, and I can tell you from being in the change room that the boys would much rather be playing at the EBB than anywhere else because of I think the interaction that they have with the fans and the relationship that has been built now between the fans and the players and the staff. And I think what everybody, not just the players, but like, whether it's the owner, the managers, the manager, the staff, the fans, everybody achieved as a club this year has been exceptional. And it's been, I've been so happy to have been able to come in at the back end and see like what's been going on, because it really is. It's a special group of players, special group of staff, and hopefully, next season, whatever happens, they can go again.
Yeah, Dad, we did think for a minute, didn't we, that with the Gateshead malarkey and all that stuff kicking off, that maybe Shots will get in. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but it's been a crazy few days, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I mean, the gaffer gave something away at his post-match, didn't he, after Dagenham, saying, who knows? And that was the first I'd really picked up on it, that there might be a possibility. It's a bit of deja vu, Josh, because back in 2017, we were relegated from the National League, which is a disaster for us. And then Gateshead, funnily enough, were relegated because of financial irregularity, something like that. So we stayed up. We were one off. We were the top bottom team. We're four from the bottom, and Gateshead went down, so we were spared.
Right.
So yeah, I think it was. Yeah, we were a bit disappointed when we heard that they weren't going to move us up, and you could imagine them doing that, move us up and give us a playoff place, because Gateshead couldn't. But just looking, I mean, I think it's been a fantastic season. But just looking at the last 6, 7 games, Josh, can you put your finger on why there was a dip? Lots of theories have been knocking around, but why do you think there was that dip in form?
It's tough, really. I don't know. Do you know what? So much, like, especially with the way the manager here does it, which I'm pretty used to from past that I've been with him. But like, a lot. There's a lot of traveling. There's a lot of overnight stays. There's a lot of you know whether that's just I'm just nitpicking excuses because you get the best like sort of care, don't you? You know what I mean? You're in the hotel. You go to bed early. You have food put on for you and everything. So like, but like I don't know. I can. I think if we're being honest, I think maybe the people that have been relied on throughout the season, i.e. your Stokeses, your Loren, your Barham, obviously being injured. We've had a lot of injuries also, a lot of people missing. They may be. Stokesy's a 19-year-old lad. Do you know what I mean? He could possibly be shattered. I don't know because as a player, I know he wouldn't come to me and be like, I'm shattered here. I ain't got nothing left. You want to play all the time, but you could imagine him probably being shattered, which then also affects your performance. Loren the same. They've hit these numbers early in the season. For somebody to do it the whole way through is unbelievable. It doesn't always happen like that. So maybe the people that we've relied on to be the big game players and to turn up for us, maybe that they haven't been doing it or whatever it may be. And then defensively, we're shipping not good enough goals. I think there's a lot of things to it. You know what I mean? Like you say, it's a tough league with some really tough teams, and then also you've got to think teams are coming to us that are probably trying to survive out of the league, which I feel like for us were a lot harder games than maybe going to the better teams in the league and playing against them because it probably suited us more. Whereas their style of play compared to the teams that are down there, like for instance, I can go off the Dorking game when I played in that. Like they're fighting for their lives. It was I wouldn't say an enjoyable game. The way they played, and we wasn't able to probably get into our way of playing. So there's so many different reasons, but I don't think nobody made any excuses. I think we understood that it wasn't good enough. As a group, we had many conversations as a group. And we've sat in change rooms and spoke as a team, and people have given their input in what we need to do. And they listen. We tried. I'd say the lads tried the hardest and give everything that they possibly could, and it just wasn't enough at the end. I think them games probably did kill us. There was games where we could have won, and it didn't quite happen, and or games that maybe on paper we should have won and we didn't. But nothing short of unbelievable what they've done anyway this season. So it's
Yeah.
obviously at the time it's hard, it's frustrating because you're like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Sometimes you need like the win at Gateshead, the goalie getting sent off. Say that we needed that probably earlier than what we got it, if you know what I mean. So for something like that to happen and go and dominate and win the game in a way that we did, and then it probably sets us up for maybe 3 or 4 games before that, and we would have had more games to try and get back on a winning streak. But listen, it didn't happen for whatever reason, but still an unbelievable season from a lot of the lads. I'd say.
Yeah.
And we're young, and we're it's the first year together as a group, aren't we? So we're very conscious that Tommy recruited basically a new squad. I mean, I think four players or so stayed from last year, so it's a brand new squad, really. So yeah, we agree. We think it was a great season. It's just one of those very difficult things to put your finger on, whether it's tiredness or mental tiredness or just a bit of bad luck. I think we've had some bad luck sometimes.
Yeah, I think as well. Like every team probably hits that dip of form at some point in the season. Just unfortunately, ours was when we probably didn't need it. Was
Yeah.
if that comes around Christmas time, you've got enough time then to make it up and get back to where you need to be. Do you know what I mean? It's difficult. We just hit probably a dip of form, and like you say, there's probably tired legs. A lot of people injured, so a lot of people having to do a lot of minutes, and the gaffer somebody that doesn't really change the team much. So like, if you're playing, you're playing, and you got to expect to be playing every single game. So, um, so yeah, there's many things, but like you said, it's been a great season anyway.
Yeah. And it's funny, Josh, just for us fans, when we see like the general mood, obviously it's been a bit like this all season, and the fans are up one game, then they're like, oh, we're past it, we bottled it, we've done this. And of course, the nearer we got to the playoffs, it just felt like everyone was so invested, so terrified that we were going to blow up that they almost like spoke it into
Yeah,
existence. Is there any sense of you guys being like, oh yeah, we did blow that? Or are you guys quite comfortable with actually maximum effort? Eighth is amazing return when lots of people, put us down for relegation. in the bigger picture, are you guys actually quite satisfied with the season, or do you agree, with that label of we did blow it because it was in our hands?
No, I'd definitely say we blowed it for sure. I'd definitely say that I think we were like, I remember the games playing against Altrincham, Barnet, and completely wiping them aside. And for me, I just felt there's not many teams in that playoffs that I would look at personally. This is just me saying it, that I look at and think that I was looking at thinking there's no one that will beat us in this playoffs. Like, and also that without even thinking we weren't going to be in the playoffs. So I was probably more planning like, right, we could play this team, we'll beat them, and then you could end up with these in the final and you beat them. That's where I was kind of at. But things just we've definitely like probably disappointed ourselves. I think there's a lot of people that will be disappointed coming off the back of that, sitting so comfortable and probably being in a position where we look like, I think attacking wise there wasn't more attractive team than what was that older shot like, your Stokesy, Loren, uh Barham, Kwame when he was coming on and like scoring goals, and there was, we watched back a video the other week, I think the gaffer put together before a game, and just seeing some of the goals that were scored was unbelievable. You know what I mean? Last minute winners, and it just seemed like it was just going to happen naturally. But for whatever reason, it didn't. But I'd say we definitely bottled it a little bit for sure.
Didn't want to put words in your mouth there, and
Nah,
didn't want to set you
yeah,
up.
I really
But
went round
yeah,
that a little bit. I went round that, but yeah, that's
no, no,
what
no.
it is.
No, we appreciate the honesty. I mean, from our point of view, I think it is a small minority, isn't it, Dad, of fans who would say, "Oh, we've ruined the season. It's now a bad season." I think 99% of fans see the bigger picture. We're well above expectation. It's been a breakthrough season for lots of players. Dad, you've already said it's a young squad, so I think in reality, yeah, it's been a great season.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, lots of people have said that sport is a mirror of life, isn't it? And if I think I'm going to go through life with no problems and no setbacks and no disasters and no mistakes, then I'm in dreamland. Really, we all know, don't we? We're all old enough to know that life is tough, and sometimes you do fail or miss the mark. It's how you respond, isn't it? And whether you let it really shape you or whether you build on it and say, no, I'm going to do better next time. And I think if the majority of the squad stays together, this will be a really rich experience. So yeah, I think I'd never be in that category. I just remember so many because I've been to most of the games this year. The last minute goals, the extra time goals, the cliffhangers, the sloppy mistakes we've made. Sometimes you go, oh my word! But it's not where I am in the crowd anyway. People are not angry. They're actually quite excited. It's like a movie. It's like, okay, what's happening next? So it's great. I've loved it. Really loved it.
Yeah. You think you've seen it all, and then you see Josh just curling into the top corner. You're like, there we go.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
the
I
closing
called that.
scene.
I called
Did
that.
you?
I have to be honest and say I turned to my wife and I said, once Josh stood over the ball and said, go away to Harris, I think it was, or yeah, Frosty wanted it. I thought, no way, Frosty, you're going to put it over the stand. So I called that one. I thought top corner. Yeah. In fact, I would have done it if I'd been there, but I wasn't.
Yeah. Much easier said than done.
Yeah.
Sat in the stand, Dad.
Yeah, my
Josh,
age.
let's talk about your season, Josh. How would you sum up? Obviously, you've only been at the shot since the new year, but yeah, on a personal note, I know you've had a little bit of injury. You're coming in trying to break into a set team. What's it like on reflection for you when you try and sum up your season?
Yeah, I'd say playing wise, probably one of the worst I've had in a long time. In terms of games and output that for myself. But of course, there's always reasons for that. Whether it's my own reasons or whether like you said, injuries or whatever. But I feel like coming into Aldershot, I feel like I've maybe played a bit of a different role. I spoke to Ollie Harfield about this the other day, and he said when he heard that I was coming in, he was like, he was saying to the lads, there's no way he's gonna come in and just be happy, like to not play as much as what he would probably expect. And he said, I've been so surprised with how you've actually kind of taken it. So I'm kind of glad that I've been able to maybe show a different side of myself to people, and just lend a hand to whoever, have a conversation with whoever, try and be a bit of a person in the change room that when I'm not playing, I'm motivating people or making people maybe feel after a loss, maybe trying to help people, get their heads back on it. Because in this league, you're playing near enough every 2 days all the time. So um, I'm glad that coming here, I've kind of been able to show that side maybe, and maybe only certain people might recognise it because like I said to you before we started, if it was probably last year, I would have been knocking on the manager's door every week asking him why I'm not playing, then him probably getting annoyed at me and telling me to go, get myself out of his office. So I've taken a bit of a different approach. I've understood, like I was not. There's no doubt wasn't fit enough. Still not fit enough, but now I've got a good bit of time to go away in the summer and hopefully get myself ready for the first day of pre-season so that I can start the season off flying and not end up with any little injuries or little niggles that I've been probably picking up too much this season.
Yeah, it feels like it's been almost a season of moments, Dad, doesn't it? I mean, obviously, Josh can't help the injuries. I mean, it feels like we've only seen flashes. The fans haven't had, 4 games in a row to get to know Josh particularly, have we?
No, I mean, I think just looking back, if you look back over social media, Josh's history, you're talking about a young man with real talent, and lots of people have said that about Josh's talent. It's not always a step by step, is it? It's not always a sort of uniform step. You go from here to there, and you become a Premiership player. I think sometimes injuries, not you don't train well enough, or you get injured, and then you come back too quickly, or somebody rushes you back. I think people understand, Josh, that certainly from where I am as a fan, a long-term fan, that you have real ability. I think the question would be, what has Tommy asked you to do, and do you think that is still there going forward? What sort of role did he ask of you, and is there going to be room for that next year? Do you think?
Yeah, I don't. There wasn't necessarily a role. I know that Tommy knows what I can do, which is another reason for me to probably keep signing for him. When he comes, and it's the reason that speaking before we started, she's been like a very loyal person to me, and I feel like I've been the same to him. So like, there's for me, there's no reason why when I come in now, I didn't feel like I was, you know, not good enough to play. I feel like I definitely was good enough to play. It's just like I said, I wasn't fit enough. There's definitely a plan in place over the summer for myself to get to where I need to. Whether, like I said, whether that's here or elsewhere, I don't know. I haven't had a proper conversation with the manager yet about it. So I'm not sure what his plan will be with me. I'm not sure, what the club's plans are, but I'm sure, like you said, if they can keep the majority of this group together, next season should be hopefully one step further than what we've done this season.
And is that something that happens in the next couple of weeks, Josh? That most players will have a conversation with the gaffer and know where you are.
Yeah, well, we have meetings tomorrow,
Okay.
so we'll go to the EBB tomorrow and we'll go in, see all the boys, whether it's the last time or whatever. So it would be quite nice to get in and see everyone. It's quite hard, when you've just like finished, you play a game on Saturday and then you're not in. It's weird because obviously you spend more time with the boys than you do your own family a lot of the time. So it's definitely weird. So yeah, it'll be nice to see everyone tomorrow. Then whether the gaffer will talk to you about it tomorrow or you'll have a phone call or whatever. He might want to go away and have a bit of a break before he starts talking to people. So yeah, it's a matter of whenever he's ready to have the conversation with you. But tomorrow there will be meetings.
Yeah, something I didn't realise, Josh, and again we spoke about this just earlier, is that Dad, this will be new information for you probably as well. Bar Reading and your time there, Tommy has been influential in you signing for, or him recruiting you, or him managing you, pretty much all your clubs, right, over the last few years. So to say you've got a connection with the gaffer is a bit of an understatement.
Yeah, yeah, exactly like you said. Yeah, I've signed for him quite a lot of times. From what he's told me, he's watched me from very young, so he's probably seen me grow up into a man, and then obviously then there was times where, I think at 18, 17, 18, I signed on loan at Coventry. He was there at the time, and then obviously signed for Bristol Rovers from Reading, and obviously had him at Kings Lynn as manager, and now Aldershot. So um, yeah, it's been an unbelievable person to me. Like I said earlier, very very loyal person. And also, if you're loyal to him, I believe he repays you with that. Um, but no, also just love. I like playing for him. I think he gives me my freedom. He knows what I can do. Uh, the outside noise of probably everybody else doesn't bother him. He allows me to be myself. And yeah, like you said, I think as a footballer, that's all you ask for. You want that. You want that. Maybe bit of leeway on a player like me who I want to be creative. I want to get the ball. I want to score, shoot from 40 yards or whatever it may be. Sometimes you might have a manager that will be screaming at you for maybe shooting from 40 yards, but I feel like he just allows me to be me and to play my game. And yeah, I've always enjoyed playing for him. And hopefully long may it continue.
I was saying, Dad, to Josh earlier, so that means whatever Tommy does, Josh has got to do as well. So I'm assuming if Tommy's happy, then Josh is happy, and we'll see him next season. That's my logic, anyway.
Yeah, I think I'd love to see Josh still with us next year. I think what we have seen of Josh is, all the good things in terms of, his vision, his ability. Well, obviously the dead ball skills, but also you can see from some of the stuff of the past. You love to score goals, Josh, don't you? You're a natural goal scorer actually. And with Josh Stokes going, there will have to be a bit of rethinking about our front three, won't there? So. Hopefully, if everything works out, there's a future here at Shots for you. Is that what you feel?
Yeah, but 100%. I feel like this is definitely the place I want to be. Anyway, put on a personal front. Uh, like you say, you never know with football whether it happens or it doesn't happen. You never know. There will obviously be a conversation. Like you say with Stokesy going, yeah, it clears up probably that position for myself to slot into, but it's not as like as we were speaking before we started. Like we're completely different players. For anybody to come in and produce what he's done, which has been sensational, by the way, from for a 19-year-old kid to do what he's done, um, would be impossible. So it will be you know a different type of player, and maybe I know the gaffer likes to play different types of formations also. So whether I fit into whichever way with him, I can only hope that he's thinking like that. That maybe I'm the person to take over that position. So I hope so. Fingers crossed. I've got a lot of work to do, for myself. No matter what, where I'm going to be, whatever. I want to make sure that next season I give myself probably the best opportunity to get back to where I can get to. Because coming into Aldershot, probably seeing the boys, your Lorenz and your Stokeses that are, you know, possibly looking at, I don't know with Loren what's happening, but like he could obviously go up and play higher. I'm sure there will be offers for him, whether the club accept or don't accept. But I feel like I've been there, I've had a taste of it. I know I've still got it in me to get back to that. So I need to do the work, need to get focused again on that. And having a young family, of course, you want to make things better for everyone. So that's my plan, no matter whether I'm here at Aldershot or elsewhere. So obviously, hoping I am, but we'll see.
Okay, Josh, so you've spoken quite a lot about the work you need to do over the summer. Fitness is a big thing for you. You expect it of yourself. Tommy's obviously trying to pull it out of you. And it does feel like, from a fan point of view, just following what you've done in your career, there often seems to be this tag following you that he's got the ability, he's got the talent, but actually sometimes, we're asking the question, what kind of shape is he in? Is he fit? Is he not? Does he want it? Is the commitment there? So my question really around that is, do you hate that label of almost being the luxury number 10, people asking about your fitness rather than how many goals you're scoring or assists? Or are you actually quite comfortable in your own skin that this is me, this is how I play, and people like Tommy, respect you for that and will work with you? Where do you stand on all that?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely comfortable with it. Listen, I've had it like probably in a lot worse. You know, I've had it before from when playing at different clubs with probably fan bases that were probably a bit too, and I would see it all the time. It doesn't bother me. It's something for myself, I'd say. I think there become a stage where I was probably a bit naive to just be like, it is what it is. If it's gonna be that, then it's gonna be that. But like, I think now it's become probably more about myself and personal pride, because you get labelled that, but then also it's like some people will be like, yeah, but he's all right. He's quite good, to be fair. He can do this or he can do that, but I know if I just add that extra string to the bow of my game, then I feel like I can take another step, and I feel like probably everybody I've played with, everybody that's worked with me would probably say the same thing. But it's just more me getting out myself, and I think, like I said, since coming here, I feel like there's a big opportunity for me to fill in and step into, say, Stokesy's shoes or whoever it may be, who has done brilliant for the club, and do it myself. So, which is something that I want to do, and I feel like I'm highly motivated to do that. To have a good whether I'll work hard myself over the off season, but then important to have a really good pre-season for me. Something that's so important. I feel like I've missed probably the last 5 or 6 pre-seasons, which does, as a footballer, sets you back big time. Going into games, I'd say every player would probably say it takes maybe 4 or 5 games for you to really feel fit. But that's with playing all your pre-season games. If you haven't played all through your pre-season games and then you're starting the season, you're probably taking 10 to 12 games to catch up with it, with everyone. So I want to make sure that when I come back, I'm good to go. I can play every game, go leading into the season, and then feeling fresh to go into the season, and then to just to show, like you say, there is a tag, and there is probably people that have a thought and have a vision of what I am, or certain people have a perception of me. But I think when you get to know me, and you probably work with me every day, it's probably different to it would be different to what a lot of people think from the outside. But that's my fault that I've got that tag anyway, which, like I said, I can completely accept, completely understand, more to the point. Um, Respect anyone's opinion, no problem, doesn't bother me. Um, yeah, and it's will be great for me to be able to hopefully come the start of the season for everyone to be like, wow, here we go. This could be maybe the next step that I probably need, because sometimes it becomes easy and you get comfortable, and I don't really want to be comfortable. I want to branch out and hopefully get back to where I know I can get to.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. It's a really honest answer. And I think ultimately, what's come across is if you're happy and actually you've got a thick skin, you're not impacted by what people say. Obviously, you're now at the point where, you're not 19 anymore.
Mm.
You can make a decision that this is the player I want to be, this is how I'm going to get to my goals. And so, yeah, if you're comfortable with that and you think you can still be the player you are, then there's kind of all power to you, isn't it? And there's plenty of people like Tommy
Mm.
who will continue to just pull stuff out of you. And yeah, as Dad and I say, the Shots fans really enjoyed having you. We love watching you play. So I think what we'd want really is just a fit Josh for next year. So like injury wise, to get some minutes and to be kind of at the top of your game. Because Dad, the ceiling feels very high with Josh, doesn't it? Like you've already said, the talent, the ability is there. I think a pre-season will show us that.
Yeah, yeah, and I like Liam, Josh. I really appreciate your honesty and openness, and telling us where you have been, because from a shots fans perspective, we read what the club puts out, and we watch games. We'll make up our own minds about certain things, but a lot
Yeah.
of things Tommy's very clear about. We don't know the injury situation, we don't know the psychological state of some players, we don't know what's going on in the background of their lives. So we're very aware that you're human beings. You're not just robots. I mean, one thing I was impressed with, when Liam and I were invited to the supporters club presentation evening, I noticed very much, Josh, you were a key member of the squad in terms of encouraging people as you met and talked with people. In fact, as you were leaving, you were going over to people and talking to them, or just saying farewell to them. And it seemed to me that you weren't in any way a prima donna or a sort of player who thought they were better than anyone else. You felt integral to the squad, and I think Tommy, and certainly I appreciated that, and I think Tommy would appreciate, you could be a key person. You've got a bit more experience. You could be a key person in gelling the squad together, and your heart's obviously for the younger players to bring them on, isn't it? You can see that.
Yeah, no doubt. I think, like I said to you before, it's been probably a different role for me than what I'm used to. I've probably been very selfish, which, listen, we all are at some point in our life, but coming through from a young age, playing at Reading, probably, like I said to Liam earlier, like, I got given so much so early, I had everything going for me possible. And then, now I'm probably in a completely different place of, there's other people that are, younger than me that are like, I can use Stokes as an example. He's going to go on and do hopefully a lot better than what I did, Um, I think coming into the group, like I said, I think it's an unbelievable group of people, by the way. Been an absolute pleasure, which made it so much easier for me um, to fit in. But I think with football, you earn your respect from people from what you do, how you play, training, the little bits of things that I do. And me, I'm quite silly sometimes at like mess around training, or, like I'll try and chip the keeper all the time and do silly things, and you kind of earn your respect from people in that way. And I think I've just built such a good relationship with everybody, and I mean that. There's not one person. I know, not that I would be on here saying I hate this fella in the team or whatever, but like, there's not one, genuinely not one person I've got a bad word to say about. And I think that is the one thing you can always rely on with the gaffer, is that is what he builds. Ultimately, he builds that, and then he builds the relationship between the team and then the fans, and then everything plays a part in that. That's why the football's so good, and then that's why, you know you stand for nearly 5-6 minutes after, or 10 minutes after the Dagenham game, clapping the fans and them singing, and that's what he builds. And I think I've seen it. I've been a part of an amazing team last year at Kings Lynn, which we were very close, very tight knit group. Same coming in here, and I feel like you said, I feel like I can be an integral part of taking the next step of maybe a more leadership role. Like I said, whether I'm here next season, hopefully I can go into a more leadership role. Um, Something that I would like, coming through the age groups at Reading, I was, I probably shouldn't have been, but at, like, under 18s, I was the captain and stuff. Um, but I really enjoy that type of responsibility, and I think it's something like that I'm probably trying to do more myself anyway. Just on
Yeah,
a personal note.
yeah. No, that's really helpful. Yeah, we've said it multiple times, but we do really appreciate, yeah, just you fronting up, Josh, and being happy to talk about all these kind of things. I suppose final word, just on behalf of all the fans who really want to just drill this in. So we're saying for you personally, next season, if all goes to plan, you personally, regardless of the club, you'd love to stay at the Shots for another year.
Without a doubt, yeah. I think, listen, I would say it's probably more on the cards than even probably what I'd think, because with football you never know. So you always got some sort of doubt, but I have been looking at some places to live up closer to Aldershot, and So I'm kind of trying to talk it into existence a little bit. Hopefully it all works out, and then uh, I'm gonna go away and go and do my work in a bit of silence and go and get stuff done, and then come July 1st, when everything's, hopefully I'm putting on back on an older shot training kit and going into training in better nick, in better shape than what I am and what I have been, and then starting off pre-season really strong, and then hopefully getting back to the EBB and winning some games again.
Yeah, amen. That's the send off we wanted to hear. Everyone's going to go home happy now. So thanks for that, Josh. And yeah, we just thank you for coming on. Obviously, summer coming up now. Have a good break.
Thank you.
As you said, off right. And yeah, on behalf of Dad and I, we both hopefully look forward to seeing you at the EBB next year. But yeah, Dad, it's time for summer break, isn't it?
And Josh, I just add that I think Liam and I both know from our lives that speaking something into being is a real thing. If a kid at school goes, "I'm stupid," if they say that often enough, it actually happens, doesn't it? They become they become what they become. Or I'm a clown or I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
So I think from a lot of fans' perspective, Josh, they see your potential and what you have been in little bits. We've just seen sort of shafts of what you could do. So I really hope you join. You get offered something and sign, and we'll see you next year, hopefully from the terraces, and we'll speak again. Hopefully, we'd love to.
Yes. Well, I appreciate your time as well, and thanks for having me.